Hi guys, welcome to another video here on Shogun FC, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the most of a false 9 on Pro Evolution Soccer 2016. In my opinion, the false 9, when used correctly, can be one of the most devastating players in football, both in real life and on Pro Evolution. If you use them correctly, they can completely pull defences out of position, make teams lose their shape, and just leave other players to completely wreak havoc. And you can easily rack up high score lines just from using this sort of player. For those who don't know what a false 9 is, there's somebody who sits in that position of a number 9, front and centre, but instead of playing as an out-and-out striker, they play as someone who's a bit more creative, someone like a deep line number 10 or an attacking midfielder, and that's where the confusion lies in, particularly for the defence. I think the best example to use for a false 9, where at least in modern days, where they became a bit more prominent and kind of more focused upon, was Cesc Fabregas. He played for Spain in the false 9 role. It was I can't remember what tournament it was, but they played essentially with 2 centre halves, 1 goalkeeper, and everybody else was a midfielder or a winger. And Fabregas was front and centre of that for most of that tournament, and he played as that false 9, and he did exceptionally well, and they went on to win the tournament. And it kind of showed people that you didn't necessarily need an out-and-out striker to be successful, and they proved it better than anybody else and went on to win, and quite devastatingly as well. Right, so let's get into a list of the best false 9s on Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, and in no particular order: Francesco Totti, Lionel Messi, Mesut Ozil, James Rodriguez, Ibrahimovic, Benzema, Di Maria, Isco, Muller and Goetze. For me, they're the best 10 people to use in that false 9 role, and I'm gonna go into what it is about them that makes them so useful in this role. Right, the first thing you will have noticed is that a lot of these players aren't forwards, and that's for good reason. The skill set that's required to play a false 9 isn't that necessarily of a striker. You could also use Neymar in there, but I think with him being so good as a prolific winger, he's wasted if you don't use him out wide. And also with the fact that you can use Messi in there, as I'll explain a bit later, makes Neymar a lot more effective out wide than as a false 9. In terms of stats, what you're looking for is somebody with good ball control, good dribbling, low passing, decent lofted passing stats as well, and finishing is optional, but for someone who's still going to be essentially playing as a centre forward, you're going to want someone who, when push comes to shove, they can still stick it in the back of the net. Other stats can come into play as well, like pace, attacking prowess, body balance, that sort of thing, and they're useful in this sort of role, but I don't think they're necessarily pivotal to the success. Other traits that you should really look for in a good false 9, the whole player playing style is fantastic for this. A whole player is essentially a false 9, realistically. There's someone who sits in that kind of the third quarter of the pitch and causes problems there. People who play Football Manager, think about a Trequartista. It's that sort of player. The best player skills for a false 9 to have are weighted pass and one-touch pass. As you're starting to realise by now, we're talking about creative players here, and the more you can do in terms of passing, the better. Right, now in terms of tactics, the best formation for me to use a false 9 in would be a 4-3-3. That's just my personal preference. The reason I think that is because a false 9 is going to be kind of sitting deep, and they work best when they've got 2 pacey wingers or supporting strikers that are going to bomb on behind them. So for them to collect that ball in at deep, turn their man and play a really, really incisive pass or a through ball in there, you can use that to devastating effect, and for me that works best. And you'll notice that a lot of the players that I've picked in this list are at teams with pacey wide options. For example, Mesut Ozil, he's got Sanchez and Walcott as runners. Francesco Totti, he's got Iturbe and Gervinho as runners. Isco and Benzema, they've got Ronaldo and Bale. I mean, if you're playing through balls to people that you want goals from, who better? And Lionel Messi, I think, is probably one of the ultimate false 9s on this game, and he's obviously got Neymar and Suarez. That will be essentially his strike options, and that's the reason why I would say not to use Neymar in there, because I think Neymar's best cutting in from the left and finishing on his right foot. and Suarez obviously can score from pretty much anywhere on the pitch. And I think Messi is better in that option because he's a better dribbler. He's a bit more able to keep the ball, and he's got more in his locker, and I think he's a lot more versatile than Neymar is. So yeah, that's kind of how you would use a false nine in there. Have somebody that's good at keeping the ball in at feet, turning, and make sure they've got pacey players either side of them that they can feed those balls into. Preferably have a pacey attacking midfielder as well that can bomb on behind as well. Play the 1-2 and use them to run on behind, and then you've got a three-pronged attack that the defence just absolutely didn't see coming. Right then, so I'm just getting into a little quick match online, and my opponent's using Juventus. I'm using Barcelona just to kind of show you how this this formation works. And as you can see, I've got Messi in there with Neymar and Suarez behind, running in behind. And yeah, so I'm going to bring you the highlights of this, and hopefully I can get a win and show you just how good a false nine can be. Right then, away we go. Oh, and he's gone 1-0 up after some really sloppy defending from me. Yeah, that's not great. Alright, so Messi now. Turns inside his man. And there's Neymar. And Buffon makes a good save. But that's kind of the first example that we've had of having Messi dropping in deep and playing that false nine role. Oh, and there's a goal from Messi, and wasn't exactly an example of the use of a false nine there, but it shows the importance of having one that can finish, because essentially they are still important in that area of the field. Right, so Messi comes in deep, he's going to try and find Neymar, does so, there's the finish, and that is exactly what you want from your false nine. He's going to run in deep, he's going to pull somebody out of their position, and the other guys are going to run in behind and make those runs. And it can be quite devastating when it comes off. And I'm not going to say this is going to work every single time, first time. It takes practice, it takes the right formation, it takes the right team, and obviously you've got to get used to it. And it does help when you've got a defence that actually helps you out. But yeah, it's something that can be used to devastating effect, and it's definitely something that a lot of people aren't used to dealing with, because not many people use a false nine. Not many people know how to either. So, and it's not something that you should rely on every single time. Having a false nine doesn't mean that every single time you pass to Messi and look for the through ball. The whole point of it is that it gives you a variety of options, and it makes you completely unpredictable. And that's the main thing you need to get out of this, is that you're going to be unpredictable rather than just flawlessly playing through balls every single time. At no point during this series will I ever promote, kind of abusing any kind of mechanic of the game, because I don't believe in that. I think it ruins the game for both you and your opponent. But what I will say is that there are things that you can take advantage of, and it's all about mixing it up really. So there we go. We've got it into Messi again at feet, and he's got Pogba marking him this time, and this is some good football, and Rakitic can't finish that move off. I'm not a huge fan of Rakitic in all honesty, but is kind of the best option in this Barcelona team in terms of that midfield role. So again, Messi's got through, and he's missed. I can't believe I've missed that. But again, it just shows the importance of having a false nine that can finish, because they are still going to get in those positions in front of goal. You are still going to get the one-on-ones. And if you're playing flexible movement, then sometimes your false nine might rotate with anybody else who's playing as a support striker. So just bear that in mind, really. So there's Messi again. Found Rakitic. He's found Neymar. He's hasn't found the back of the net. Jesus. So in comes Messi. Great ball to Suarez, but that's cut out just at the last moment there. But you can see the problems I'm causing him. Oh my god, I've hit the post again. And for some reason, I just can't seem to find the back of the net here. Messi picks it up deep. And there you go, that dribbling comes straight into play immediately. And he tried to find Neymar there, couldn't quite. Right, and that's ended at 2-2. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the win, but I'm quite happy with that performance, really, and it kind of showed just how versatile it can be to use a false 9. Right, so we came up against a good opponent. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the win. We hit the post on a couple of occasions, narrowly missed wide, that sort of thing. But hopefully I did manage to show you how effective a false 9 can be. If for nothing more than making you incredibly unpredictable. Obviously we scored that great goal where we dropped deep with the false 9 and played a really good through ball to Neymar, and he managed to stick it in the back of the net. So yeah, hopefully this has been educational for you. Hopefully it's been interesting enough, and you know, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would really appreciate your feedback on this. Let me know if you've used a false 9, if this is going to help you using the false 9, if you think it's viable, if you don't think it's viable, if you think I've used the false 9 completely wrong, all that stuff. Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to know what you guys think. Also, keep your eyes peeled for more videos. They're coming soon. I've also recently uploaded a 100,000 GP special agent pack opening. It was quite interesting. Have a look. You'll also see some updates to the squad, because the squad on balling out has changed quite a lot. I tried to record a few episodes and they didn't work, and obviously the squad changes quite drastically over the course of an episode. So have a look at that. The squad's changed quite a lot. It's a really good squad. I'll leave a link to that in the top right corner of the screen. You'll see a little eye pop up right about now. So click that and have a look. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, hit like. Leave me some comments. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know in the comments below how I can improve. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video with people who play Pro Evo. And yeah, you know, thank you guys for watching as always. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support on these videos, and until next time, take care. Peace.